Thanks so much, Nikki. Thank you for texts about Qantas too. So many coming in about the hearing that has begun in Canberra now at 9 o'clock with Qatar Airlines appearing this morning. Does Bridget McKenzie honestly believe that her so-called protection racket, in brackets, for Qantas only began at the change of government? She must have a reasonable idea of how the previous Liberal government handled them, says one. I'm very annoyed by that coverage of the Qatar issue. Qatar is a government-supported business that wants to destroy the competition, and once that is done, they can charge whatever they like. It's happened many times, says Clint of Penthurst. And Marie in Petersham says, astonishing, annoying and almost unbelievable to hear the Queen of cover-ups on sports rorts being so very self-righteous about investigating ALP decisions, re Qantas and Qatar. Pots and kettles, perhaps. She smells a political scalp. Yes, she's certainly relishing this, isn't she? And the coalition certainly using it for everything they can get. I think they're sensing some vulnerability on the government in this, but the Senate inquiry also has Labor members, so we will be hearing more that comes from Canberra this morning. My little buttons are broken. Oh, dear me. I won't press that. Sarah Macdonald with you on ABC Radio Sydney, where it is 10 minutes past 9. Are you retired but still working? Are you trying to work to supplement your pension? What are you doing? And would you like to do it more? The federal government announced from next year all age pensioners and eligible veterans will be able to continue to earn $11,800 a year before their pension payments are reduced. Now, this came in this year. It meant people could earn $4,000 more than previously. Does that make a big difference for you? Has it meant you've done more work? What jobs are you doing? Are you plugging holes in really important areas for businesses that need you? How do you like that work? Do they want you to do even more? 1300 222 702 is our number. With a lot of job vacancies, perhaps we need people who have already retired to do even more. Ian Henschke is the Chief Advocate at National Seniors and with me now on ABC Radio Sydney. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Sarah. Yes, it's a big step. The government has actually made it permanent now. You might remember this time last year we had the Jobs and Skills Summit in Canberra. We were calling on the government to bring in a New Zealand-style system. They chose not to. They chose to bring in what they call an income bank, in other words, $4,000 extra that they put in on the work bonus. But Sarah, the complication with the existing system is you get a bonus one day and a penalty the next, and that becomes extremely confusing for people because if you divide 12 months into $11,800, you can see you can only earn less than $250 a week. So when you work one day these days with the wages now gone up, you've basically used up your bonus on day one and you get a penalty on day two, and on day two you lose 50 cents in the dollar from your pension and you pay income tax as well. So this system is problematic, but it's very good for those people that were already working because obviously they can get an extra $4,000, which helps them with cost of living.
Right, so you don't think it'll attract more people, it'll just help those already doing it?
I think you also have to publicise it too. So talking about it today is important to let people know, because if you've got, for example, the opportunity to work, say, for the next 3 or 4 months, you could earn $12,000 and then you might say, well, look, that's all the work I'm doing, or you may continue to work. I mean, it's actually a very complicated system we've got in Australia, and what we should be doing is looking to places like New Zealand, Sweden, England, Canada. You work and then you add that income onto your pension, and then you pay tax on the overall income. So in other words, you get the money back through the tax system. We've got a bonus and penalty system, which is the legacy of the idea that the pension's welfare.
Right, okay. 1300 222 702. Are you working after retirement? Are you not doing it because you're worried it'll affect your pension? What kind of work are you doing? Why are you working? Love to hear from you on ABC Radio Sydney this morning. Yes, I was going to ask you what New Zealand do. So what those other countries do is you do the work and then you pay the tax later on, and you find that has that meant that more people do keep working after retirement age?
Oh, yes. Look, in those countries, they have around 20% of their over 65s working. In Australia, we have about 15% of our over 65s and only about 3% of our pensioners.
Okay,
So
3%. What have they got? Oh, because they don't. Do they have a pension though?
They all get a pension, so they've got 25%. So we could actually have a 10% larger workforce of those people over 65, and in Australia that would represent hundreds of thousands of extra workers. So we really, I mean, Sweden, for example, has a 78% participation rate in its workforce. Australia has 66, so you could even have this is why I'm saying if you set the settings right, you can actually change society. And look, there's no reason why people who want to retire, are going to be forced to work. You can retire, and that's fine. But if you're struggling, as many people are, you should allow them the opportunity to work. And what we said to government was, you were talking, Sarah, before about the desperate need in certain industries. One of the areas that's got the highest need is the caring industries, childcare, home care, health care, all of those areas there. Now, you imagine if you're a nurse and let's just say you've been in and out of the workforce, you haven't got much super, you get to 67, you get your pension, the local health centre says we want you to keep working. You keep working and then you lose 50 cents in the dollar on your second day off your pension. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, at least for the caring industries, they could create a sort of an opportunity there. And we've said to government, do this. Now, one thing to remember is the ACTU, the Health Services Union, the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the National Farmers Federation, all back our plan.
Okay.
They all agree with it.
Right. I wanted to go to some people who are doing this. Ian Henschke is the Chief Advocate at National Seniors. Let's hear some stories. I'm sure he hears a lot of them. Hello, Peter in Dulwich Hill.
Hi. I do NGIS work, disabled people. I take them around Sydney now. I could do a lot more work, but I really only do one and a half days a week because if I do more than that, I don't get any extra. The pension, I lose 50 cents in the dollar, and then I lose money on the pension. So for every dollar I earn, I get very little, 9 or 10 cents. So I don't work as hard as I could. I'm perfectly healthy. So that means that the maximum amount of pension I can earn is about $800 to $850 a week. Now, that sounds pretty good, but try and live in Sydney when you're paying rent on that. So,
that's on top of your pension.
No, it's not on top of your pension. That's
okay.
Total,
that's overall.
Everything.
Yes, and
overall,
Sydney is a very expensive city. Yeah. So that's why you're doing it, Peter.
I'm doing it, but I can't earn enough money.
Okay.
That's what happens in Sydney. You work on a pension without your own house, and you'll struggle.
Oh yes, because you've got to pay rent.
They should open it up more so we could work properly. A lot of us can, and I'm one of them.
And you would do more, and you're in an area that's